We live. We quicken. We're gonna be quick and live because the ladies on the way home to holler at Mike. My lady just went to a baby shower at Christmas, so I got free time, playtime, all that time. What's up, dog? Burgers and Blitzes is back.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing, man? It's been some time, but you know how we do it. We don't be on schedule. We just have our own schedule. We beat to our own drum. So you know how we do it. So you just get ready and let's talk about it. So there's a game going on today. Cowboys, Commanders, big game. Could be do or die game. A lot of stuff going around Cowboy land. What's your Eberflus? How are you feeling just right now with the state of the Cowboys?
Uh, it's bad. I mean, we knew it would be bad. We didn't know it would be this bad. The defense.
I've been
It's
listening
even
to you
worse.
on Twitter. You've been going crazy.
I never wanted him hired. I flipped
Mm-hmm.
out when they hired him, and I told you why.
Yeah,
And it's even worse than I could have imagined.
yeah. What up, everybody? Come on in here. Yeah, man.
So,
We both said it was fundamentally effed up when we knew. I knew. I'm sure you knew as well. But as soon as he got fired in Chicago, I knew he was coming to Dallas, and that was the
yep.
fundamental flaw. Just like when they always want to keep. I feel like even when they have Kellen Moore with Mike McCarthy, I felt like that was the contingent. You come over here, but we're still going to keep Kellen Moore. They want to still be able to have that control on how they want to do it, and that Marinelli tree, that zone defense, and your players are different. It's just like gross because Marinelli, we remember Marinelli days. He used to piss me off. Like, I like Marinelli, you feel me? But, bro, when you were running that defense, you had Warren Sapp, you had Simeon Rice, you had dogs up front. So you could run that cover two, and you could run that cover four. You could run those covers like that because your front seven, is particularly your front four, was like that. You don't have that now. And yet, just talk to me, dog.
It's when that defense worked, it was a totally different game. That rant that Michael Irvin went on the other day about separate the man from the football. That's what that was predicated on. The whole zone defense was separated. They right all the way up to the LOB. It was separate the man from the football. You can't do that anymore. And even if you could do that, you don't have the players to do that because everybody back there runs a 4-6. So it's meant to umbrella the field. You see the ball coming, and you go put that dude in the hospital. That's what it's there for. You can't do that anymore. So they catch the ball, and they catch the ball. And if you do hit them, you got to wait for they take 3 or 4 steps because it's illegal to play defense. So what? You're just escorting them down the field, and nobody knows it. You don't have the players to do it. You don't have the speed to do it. And I never would have dreamed that a coach would get fired and show up to the next place even more arrogant and stubborn and toxic. Imagine getting fired and your next job, you don't have your shirt tucked into your underwear and your pants up around your belly button and you got your beard all straightened up and you got a fresh cut. This dude showed up in a pair of sweatpants with a mustard stain on the shirt talking shit.
But see, you know what? He had already had that influence. And see, that's what I had talked about on a video I had just dropped, like, where I said that if the boss, the owner hired you, not the coach.
They never met. They had never met.
You get what I'm saying? So if the owner hired you and not the coach, don't you think you're going to have more? And this is what I said: if you're at your regular job, Mike, if you are cool with the owner and the manager's like, "Hey, man, you need to do this," and I'm looking at you like, "Man, bruh, I'm with the owner, bro. You don't tell me shit what to do. I'm gonna do this how I want to do it."
The dude decides my check. It's cool.
How is that not like this for real? When, like you said, the arrogance. That's what I saying. Especially when he said, "No, I ain't taking no sides and don't I ain't taking no sides on this, but I'm just listening when that when he said that team grits and he said, by the way, I hate grits. That was unnecessary for me. You didn't
Yeah.
have to say no shit like that. That to me that messes up the dynamic of the defense as well because you got people that still mess with Diggs, and for you to say that, bro, that right there just that's the arrogance you speak of right there. When he said that, that's the
Yeah.
arrogance to me you speak of. I'm
Regardless,
uncomfortable. I can say that.
it's well known. It's well known. I'm not a Diggs fan. I wasn't a fan of the
Right,
contract.
right.
It's but he's here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you got. And you're paying the
Mm-hmm.
man a lot of money. And you got
Mm-hmm.
Deron Bland over here who you're paying a lot of money. And you got a coach that shows up. This is the catch-up bottle edition of the defensive coordinator. That offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach showed up and ruined Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick, and everybody looked like they forgot how to play football. Because we're going to do what I want to do. I know you're a future Hall of Famer, you're a future Hall of Famer, you're a future Hall of Famer, and you're a future Hall of Famer. But fuck that, we're doing it my way. What? What? You don't. You don't ask a chicken to fly, and you don't you're like what are you doing here? And then what's going to end up, and this is a cyclical thing with these defensive coordinators because your GM has no philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
I know Baltimore's having a down year, so it's a bad reference, but it's one down year out of like 25 on defense. They're continually top 8, top 5 in the field with defense special teams because they have an identity. They know what they want to do, they know who they want to draft, and they know how they want to play football.
Mm-hmm.
Your GM gets a defensive coordinator. We're soon to be on what, 5 defense, because Eberflus will be gone next year. If it ain't, they're not going to fire him this season, but because they don't fire anybody, but he'll be gone. They'll be on to the next one, and they'll bring in some guy that wants to do what he wants to do. But in the meantime, just like they did with Marinelli, just like they did with Nolan, just like they did with Quinn, we're going to have a draft, and Eberflus is going to get to pick some guys that he wants. He'll get fired, or I'm sorry, his contract won't get renewed. They don't fire people. They'll bring in a new defensive coordinator, and he'll say, "Who the fuck are these guys? What am I supposed to do with this?" All right, we're gonna run my defense anyways because that's the only thing I know how to do, and I'm not changing because change. No, we're not doing that. We're not changing because that's too difficult. We can't figure that one out. So we're gonna run my defense. Then when we get to the draft in a year, I'm gonna burn this season because I don't have any players, and then we'll get to the draft, and then I'm gonna draft a couple guys, and then they'll surely work out, and then we'll get to another draft because we're not going to use free agency. And then guess what? By that second, third year rolls around, that defensive coordinator's gone, and you repeat. And you just got this conveyor belt of changing philosophies and changing player styles and changing this and changing that. And there's never any set identity. So you have what you see on the field. You don't know what team you're getting. You don't know what you're gonna you don't know what part of the defense. I mean, we kind of do this year with the big bus, Donovan Wilson sees a wide receiver run by him when he's playing safety, and he goes, "Huh, that's odd. Wonder where he's going. Maybe I should go." Oh, damn. He caught a touchdown. I probably should have done something about that. Anyway, the owner ain't tripping, so we'll go to the next play. And it just burned it, I don't know. There's no identity, and that's the point of my rant. You just there's ever changing. Like Ozzie Smith is still Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Newsome is still in Baltimore. He's not the quote unquote GM. He's got some VP of personnel scouting, some crap like it's something like that. But the point is he's still there, and they still have an identity of who they want to get. San Francisco has an identity of who they want to get, how they want to play, and what they want to do with the squad. Not in Dallas. And when you have no identity and you're changing with the wind when every coordinator that blows into town, this is the end result. Then you get guys. What happens? We see it with Nolan. We've seen it with Quinn. Seen it with Marinelli. We've seen it with insert whoever you want to get. About October, which is where we're at, guys are getting frustrated because they're getting smoked, they're getting blown off the line. The internet's talking about them, the TV's talking about them. So what do you do as a man? You get frustrated. You start playing out of your head. You start forgetting your assignments. You start forgetting gap integrity. You start hunting. I'm going to make a play. Fuck it. I'm making a play. I don't care what the coach says. I'm making a play. Next thing you know, you jump a route, touchdown. You jump to the B instead of the C because you were supposed to two gap, 45-yard run play right to the hole you were supposed to be at. And it's just a snowball effect of shit's not working. I've got to figure something out. It's no different than like when Aaron Rodgers is having a bad day, he starts rifling that ball 900 miles an hour and nobody can catch the damn thing because he's pissed. It's human nature. When you feel you're sliding down the damn cliffside, you start grabbing at anything you can get. You forget, you panic. That's why training and repetition is so important in high stress jobs. The training and repetition, autopilot. You're not supposed to think. You're just supposed to do your damn job. You know what you're supposed to do. But when you're getting your ass pushed up down the damn field, Rico Dowdle goes and puts 245 yards on you. By about that 180th yard, you're like, fuck it, I'm going to make a play. And you're not going to make a play. What you're going to do is you're going to fuck up your assignment. You're going to jump out of your gap, and they're going to make a bigger play. And that's exactly what you're seeing now because the guys are pissed off. They hate him. They're openly talking shit about him in any interview they can get. And you've got basically a coup going on that Visor Bro can't do anything about because he didn't hire the fucking guy. So he's stuck with him. Him and Diggs are beefing. He's beefing with the highest paid players on your defense. That's when the GM, if the coach won't do it, that's when at least the GM should be like, all right, time the fuck out. Y'all go in a corner and hold hands for 10 minutes till we can play dice, or I'm sending you both home. And that's ended up, somebody got sent home this week. Concussion, whatever. So it's bad. I knew it'd be bad. I didn't know it'd be this bad. You couldn't think it would be this bad. I thought you had enough guys, at least you might be bottom 10. But if there was 41 teams in the league, they'd be 42nd defense. That's just how absolutely it's unwatchable. It's absolutely unwatchable.
Yeah, and it definitely doesn't seem like anybody really wants to play for him now. And then just like you said, the situation, and I said 5 months ago, I reposted a video I made 5 months ago where I said, are we seeing the beginning of the end of Trevin Diggs? And I mentioned you heavily in that video because we've been talking about the Diggs things for the last couple of years. And I said this was the last year you would see of Diggs. And I said you should have tried to get some trade capital for him because I knew some
they
stuff.
Tried to move him last year, then he got hurt. We talked about it at the time. They were shopping here, but no, man, they just paid him. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, we're not even a year later. Look at it.
Yep, and that's what we talked about. That's why you need to listen, Bertie, because we were talking about this specific thing, especially with Trevin Diggs. And now it's blown up. It's full blown. And I personally don't know where you come back from this, because as I said before, guys ain't playing for him, and you can just see the cockiness from him when he's in these interviews. Like, yeah, we'll do something, we'll figure it out, But it's different when guys don't want to play for you. I will definitely say this. When Zimmer was here, I don't like how they hired him doing the comfortable way, but I felt people respected Zimmer. The players respected Zimmer, and that's why they eventually got that defense better. But you also did have Michael, right?
Well, you didn't know, Zimmer carries a shank. You don't know if he might get you one in the kidney on the way by.
But I think there's still a healthy respect for Zimmer.
For sure. I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm not, and I am. You got to respect the guy. Has skins on the wall. He's a well-respected coordinator across the league. Matt Eberflus is a fucking joke, and he's been a joke for 10 years.
Yeah, and even with Quinn though, the players love Quinn.
Joke.
But
players love Quinn because the same reason that players loved Campo.
So you saying the time that Quinn was here on defense, you thought you didn't think that was good?
No, I thought they were can smashers. The same thing they've always been. That defense without turnovers got their doors blown off. We've seen it time and time and time again. If they didn't get
But here's
2
the thing.
turnovers,
The thing I liked about Quinn, though, it seemed like I feel like he would making more adjustments than you see these other guys, especially Eberflus.
he
Like
okay,
he's
yeah, he's better than Eberflus, which is the bar's buried in the ground at that point. You know what I mean? He's better. Like obviously, is better than Eberflus, but we saw time and time and time and time and time again with that defense the same problem he has in Washington, the same reason he got ran in Seattle, the same reason he got ran in Atlanta. He can't close out a damn game. You get to the second half, and the other team's just running the ball down your throat. You can't do a damn thing about it because your linebackers are 218 pounds.
I feel you. I feel you. But in that game against Chicago, I can't blame a Dan Quinn when your quarterback fumbles the ball with 3 minutes left to go in the game and they could salt it away. That's not Dan Quinn's fault.
No, it's not. But
And
that's
that's where
another
the
thought. I
players
mean,
got to do better too.
hey, I was told that guy was, the next coming of, he was out there walking on water,
I mean,
his
he
rookie
still has
year.
got 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception, so he's still doing good. And he's probably gonna
Yeah,
kill Dallas today, even with no receivers. He's probably still gonna eat up Dallas. But I'm just saying, I agree with you with the Quinn thing because I feel like Quinn eventually gonna flame out like he always does. He starts really good, strong, and then he eventually does. I'm just saying that the players, it makes a difference when players want to play for you as a
yeah.
defensive coach because then it makes your defense better. One of
You
the
could be a
reasons.
likable. You could okay. So Dan Quinn was a likable guy with a flawed system, with a flawed process. Eberflus is a hateable guy with a process that hasn't worked in 15 years, and he refuses to change. There is nothing worse.
So you
You
don't think
see,
that defense? So you don't think when he had the defense in Indianapolis, that got him the job in Chicago? You don't think his Indianapolis defenses were
I
pretty good?
mean, how many years straight that Chris Ballard spends first round draft picks on the defensive line, either trading for guys or outright picking them. You had like 5, 6 first round picks in that front seven. You
Well,
better be half decent.
let me ask you this then, Mike. We've already talked about how we feel like it's comfortable in Dallas. That's one of the biggest problems, right? So let's say when you look at Eberflus in Indianapolis, okay, I hear what you're saying, but the defenses were still good that got him a job. And then when he went over to Chicago, he did have talent. They won games, but they didn't close out games. But we know he's not the head coach guy. But don't you think also him coming over to Dallas because it's the comfortable way and he had already been here, it's easy for him to get comfortable and get lax again. And that's one of the reasons why this cycle happens as far as the identity thing is
Yeah,
because you have the comfortability because you're hiring a guy that we're comfortable with. We knew him before. And he probably gets more slack now because they handpicked him. So it's easier for
it's what
him to say what he wants and be what he wants and act like that toward the players because Jared got him bulletproof at least for this year because they picked him.
whether it's the defensive coordinator or the OC or the special teams guy or the O line coach. It's always you swap out one thing and then you keep this over here that you're nice and comfortable with. It's like you go to a new restaurant. It's like I may try a different side, but I'm sticking with what I know. I'm gonna come get these enchiladas over here because I know they're gonna be solid. They're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
solid. I might try refried beans this time instead of black beans. But if I don't like them, I swap them out. It's the illusion of change.
Mm-hmm.
It's the illusion of change. That nothing. There's never any full commit to a new identity or a new ideal or a new lane. It's always these half steps. I talk about like it's like the person when you're out there, you're cliff jumping, you're at the lake and you're cliff jumping. And you get that one person up there and they hesitate and they hesitate and they hesitate and they finally get the nerve up to do it and they send it and they land on the rocks because they
Right.
have committed. They didn't
Right.
they didn't launch, they landed. If you're gonna send it, you gotta fucking send it or you're gonna get hurt.
That's a great
Way,
analogy.
way, way more than if you just go. If you just don't think about it and go,
Yeah.
pure physics, you have a 99% chance of being okay. You might belly flop or something, but you're going to hit the water.
Right.
They don't send it. They just,
Yep. Yep. And then, yeah, totally.
And then then you wake up in a fucking ambulance.
Yeah. That analogy right there, if I can find this analogy, I'm gonna find my producer to clip this part that you just said. Because listen, that's to me the perfect analogy because that's what
Yeah.
it is. Instead of you going over to that motherfucker, just jump off of it and whatever happens, we're gonna be all right. Like you said, you got a bigger chance of everything being right than being mussed up. But when you I don't know, you always get effed up, and that's what they do. They oh well, we went out and did this, but just like you can correlate that to me with the Pickens thing because people were saying, oh well, his agent and them they wanted to wait. But why is Pickens in the game 6? Like I'll be open to signing. No, Cowboys were like, we'll now you come over here, you got to prove it first because we all heard. No, you didn't think he wasn't going to be a dog here?
That's the funniest thing with me when people say, well, him and his agent didn't want to sign. Realize what you're saying. Realize what you're saying when you're saying that. Okay, you got a guy, you got an employee, and he's making $10 an hour. $10 an hour is what he's making. He's doing the same job. You come to him the next day, you say, hey, I want to get you locked up. I think you've been good around here. I'm going to give you a raise. I'm going to give you $7 an hour raise, and you're going to get one more week of vacation a year. What's that dude going to say? Man, I'm good. Actually, I'm good. I'm good making. I'm good making what I'm making. I got a couple other jobs on the side. I don't need it.
I don't need. Let me just keep on working on this wage, and I'm gonna see if I can show some other employees out there that I'm good like that too. So I'm not gonna take
the money.
I'm not gonna take their $7 effort. I'm gonna keep on playing, and and now I got my talk. Oh, him and his agent, bruh. When they traded for him, they weren't like anything. They were just like, we're trading for you. You got to prove it. So why wouldn't they be like, yeah, we're going to wait to the end of the year? Because they didn't offer us
12 touchdowns and 1,300 yards.
They didn't come at us with nothing. I don't know why people understand that because that's all I said. I said, bruh, if they traded for him and didn't even have an agreement or didn't even say any kind of money in place, don't know nothing. Just we trading for you and you got to prove it. Agent and the player would say that. Why wouldn't they say that? It wouldn't be funny if that was the case. Then why would that said player, come out this week and say, "Yeah, I'll be good to see. I'll be cool to sign with Dallas." Yeah, of course.
No, I would not like $100 million. I would. Bro, that's not what I. That's not what I want.
That's what I said, bro, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I called them dummies because y'all traded for a player and you're renting him. We all know that. Okay, that's dope.
Which is fine. It's fine. That's fine. But that's fine.
But this is to your point, Mike. You traded for George Pickens. You're at the rock. You're ready to jump, but you don't try to sign him or nothing. So you're jumping at the edge, and now he's having a career year. And you don't think since he's on his best behavior, all them other teams, and he's only like 25 years old, ain't gonna offer him more money than y'all?
Jacksonville's gonna hit that man with $38 million a year, and he'll be gone.
Gonna be gone.
He'll be gone.
He's gonna be gone. You didn't
Jacksonville
think numbers here, Dallas. That's how dumb y'all are. He had numbers with nobody. You didn't think he wasn't gonna come with Dak and wasn't gonna get numbers, bruh.
The amount of people that Dak's got paid, which credit to them, they still had to catch the ball, run the plays. But there has been a laundry list of players that have came through Dallas and left for buku bucks.
And I'm just like,
so and that half commit is how you don't have Parsons, Lawrence, or Lewis. You knew. I talked about it. People told me I was crazy, not to rehash. They weren't going to do it. They were not going to do the Parsons deal. They weren't.
You said it.
They knew that.
You did. You said they're not going to sign him. You need to trade him. You said that 2 years ago, and everybody was like, man, shut up, blah, blah. They're like, he ain't going to sign him. And they just need to trade him if you ain't going to sign him. You said that years ago, and look where we're at now.
And you knew you weren't going to do it, and still you let Lewis go. Yeah, Lewis got a bag. he got a bag. But if you know you're going to gut your defense that hard by trading away the best player, you still need something. You still need somebody out there to play football. That you still need. I don't even like DeMarcus Lawrence, but he'd be nice to have this year. He'd be nice to have. Jordan Lewis is playing his ass off in Jacksonville. But once again, you have commit. If you're going to tear it down to the studs, tear it down to the studs. Trade CD. See if Dak was no trade clause. Trade Parsons before the draft. And go get ammunition so you're not just treading water and hesitating on the rock.
And also, Mike, when you said, not to cut you off, but when we also talked about trade him before the draft, because what are we talking about? This is what I said. Dak is 32. He is not getting younger. Every year needs to be an all-in year for your quarterback. So you should have traded those picks, because now they're like, oh, we got 2 firsts for the next 2 years. That's going to be 34 then. You don't know what's going to happen with injuries. You don't know somebody's going to have a season-ending injury, and then you still go, oh, here we go. We got to wait another year. You got to go in all out every year with your quarterback, 32 years old, and he's had some injury history. You need to go out and get him what he needs to get so you can win a championship, and they are still not doing it, and that's why I ain't believing you're doing it ever again, Jerry.
And we already know, we've seen it. We've seen it all across the league. We've seen it with guys, insert quarterback you think's better than Dak. Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, whatever. Whoever you name them. We've seen it. They can't. The teams are too, with the parity, the teams are too close together. A quarterback can't overcome a significant disadvantage. He might get you to the playoffs. He'll get you 12 wins in a season. We've seen it. Get you 12 wins in a season. But we know going into the playoffs, everybody's, they should have won that Green Bay. Ain't a goddamn person with a right mind thought they were winning that Green Bay game. Nobody did. If you did, you're foolish. That was a hot team with a better coach, with a quarterback with a head full of steam. They were coming in here to play some damn football. And you weren't.
They were coming in to kick Dallas's ass.
You weren't. They were coming to beat your ass. And you were just like,
he was scared again, and he knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. They were coming in here to whoop your ass, and they had a plan. They had you circled. And then you see it. They go get their ass beat. The teams that beat Dallas in the playoffs typically, or even in the regular season, they go get their ass beat the next week, because that is the date they got circled on their calendar. We may lose every other fucking game on the year. Dallas. But we're gonna beat Dallas. We will win that damn football game. It's the way it's all we want.
And that's, not to cut you off, Mike, but that's what I know. That's what even Aaron Glenn with his and everything asked. I know he said, if we can beat them, just stick to the plan. That's what Ben Johnson said at the end of their huddle when they were in the locker room. We stuck to the plan. We knew what we needed to do. We needed
to keep playing. They're going to give us the game. Keep playing. They're going to give us the game.
To the plan, and they're going to give it to us. Just stick to the plan. And that's what you have to do with Dallas. Just stick to the plan that you have. Don't get frustrated. They're going to make a mistake. They're going to do something stupid. They're going to make a bonehead play. And that's what it is. And people just don't want to hear that shit. But watch the team. It happens.
They've never had a roster advantage going into the playoffs, despite what people EPA this, EPA that. They've never had a roster advantage. We've watched them time and time again. Oh, we traded Mike and now the defense sucks. The defense sucked with him. We watched it happen. We watched 2023. We watched Baltimore and Miami and them run right the hell over them. Run right the hell over them. He was here. They were healthy. We had everybody. We had everybody.
And that's what we had to win. And those were had to win games, and we got ran through, especially that Buffalo game when they ran near damn near 300 yards and James Cook went crazy. And that was a game they need to have. And just the week before, they were talking, DeMarcus Lawrence were talking, oh, yeah, we back. And then they got ran through. So it's just the same thing, different story, different coaches, different
it's the illusion of change. We're gonna change this thing. So once again, another analogy. We're out there racing. All right, shit. We caught a flat. We got a pit. I got a broken shock too, but we're just gonna change the tire. We're just going to change the tire. We ain't going to worry about that shock. We're going to get back out there and start racing. We got a chance. As long as we're still racing, we got a chance. It don't matter if our car is down on 7 cylinders and we got a busted shock. As long as we're in the race, listen to Jared tell you, as long as you're in the race, you got a chance.
I mean, that's what it is. And that's the manipulation that he plays on these delusional fans. These
We got the
fans
highest
that,
paid quarterback. We ought to win. We got the highest paid quarterback. Other teams got the highest paid. Josh Allen's making $90 million more than Dak, but they talk about the AAV because it was a new contract. Why? Because they let the shit expire. Josh Allen signed an extension. Patrick Mahomes signed an extension. Lamar Jackson signed an extension. It's different when you let shit run all the way to the 11th hour and you finally got a shit. Oh man, I waited. Oh, I got to get to work tomorrow. And I ain't got a car. Damn. All right, I'll call the rental place. See what they got. See what they got. Man, all we got is this damn XXL Suburban. It's $180. Man, y'all ain't got a Kia or something? You ain't. Damn. All right. Damn, I got to get to work. Here we go. I got to get to work because if I don't have a quarterback, I ain't got a car. I ain't getting to work. So I need something. And damn, calling around and shit, that's a lot of work too. So we'll just pay this guy this money, and then it'll be his fault when we don't win, even though it's our fault for kicking it down the road for 3.5 years. And now we can't afford anybody else, even though we got $40 million of cap space we're not using. So, it'd be the quarterback's fault. And, I guess it's the quarterback's fault that he can't drag the Jones boys in a depleted roster to the Super Bowl every year. I mean, you look at Philadelphia, you can't tell me that 25 other quarterbacks couldn't have made the Super Bowl with that roster last year. The way they were playing, the way they were running the ball, the way that defense is playing, that team's on autopilot. All you got to do is not fuck up. They're not asking you, that's why they're not asking you to go win the game. They're asking you to not cost them the game. That's all you got to do. Don't cost them the game. We don't need you to convert 19 third downs a game. We just need you to not cost us the game. But meanwhile, in Dallas, 2 punts. If we punt twice, that's game over. As it stands right now, if we punt twice, it's game over. Unfortunately, one of their punts came in the final mid. God forbid they don't score on every single drive.
That's what it is.
We thought it was going to happen. Then your coach goes out there and calls up 3 screen passes, and there's ball game. There's no margin for error, and then people watch this on a weekly basis. And they talk about it, and then when the season's over, somehow it gets flipped to, well, they didn't win that Green Bay game. Dak played like shit. Yeah, the whole team played like shit because it was a bad team. It was a bad team. Or you lose one player, we lose Paul. If we wouldn't have lost Pollard, that game would have, we would have had, we was doing something before we lost Pollard, which is true. But why does that one injury just completely destroy your roster? It's not like you lost a quarterback, you lost a running back.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
And what's so crazy about that, Mike, you bringing up the real shit. We all knew when Pollard went down, game over.
It was it.
We all were like, that's game.
That's game.
Crazy.
It's church. Might as well go. Let's see what they're doing on the Home Shopping Network. See if I can go get me an antique clock or something. That was ball game. Because you know why? That's what happens to bad teams. That's what happens to bad teams. Just like Joe Burrow last year should have probably been the MVP. Would they win 4 games?
No, they won like 7 or 8.
I mean, the point being,
he went on that run, and it was him. It was him that really had them go on that run, because if they didn't have him, there was nothing.
But unfortunately, he had that game at the first of the year where he threw like 4 picks and they lost, and that ended up being pretty much the difference of them backsliding into the wild card round or not. Was that one game? That one game
over there in Cincinnati, it's all on him. If he don't,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. That's if Burrow don't do it, they're not going.
They're not going nowhere. If Burrow don't do it, they ain't going nowhere.
And you got the same thing in Dallas, and we see it with Mahomes. The guy we think's football Jesus. We seen him struggle when right now they have a bad roster, and they're struggling.
Mike, I say this too, Mike. All that off-field shit that done happened with Jerry, that's real stuff too. So you got to not only
Yeah,
play perfect football, but you got that other stuff on the outside. Like I said, that's just a bad combination. You got an 83-year-old guy
it's too much.
that
It's
on
too,
the, it's
you already need every single thing you do to be 100% go. You need to all chips on black, all chips on red every single year. And then you still need a whole lot of luck, And then you got to pray the refs don't screw you over. And you got to play, you got a good draw. Like you ain't got to go play in January up in Buffalo when, you need all these things to go right, assuming you're already doing a good job. You're not doing a good job and things aren't going right. So, yeah, you're gonna have maybe Vegas was dead. Vegas had them at 7.5 wins even before the Parsons trade. They traded Parsons. Guess what? 7.5 wins. Vegas always knows. Vegas
they,
always knows.
yeah, they know. They be knowing.
Vegas moved the line. Vegas moved the line to this game to a Cowboys favorite on like Tuesday. The news about Debo not making the game came out Friday afternoon. They knew. They knew. If you, that's for anybody watching, that's how you know you're like, hey, is so and so going to play this week? Watch the line on Tuesday or Wednesday because they don't make that call till Friday practice. If it's a Sunday game, it's Friday practice. If it's a Monday game, it's Saturday practice. If they move that line Tuesday, Wednesday, whoever you're thinking about ain't playing or is playing, vice versa. If they move that line like that and they're already down a guy or two or this whatever, and the line moves, that because that guy ain't making the game. And sure enough, now they don't have Devo or Terry. But watch, they'll figure out a way.
They'll figure out a way because Jamie
They
Daniels, he gonna figure out a way.
oh, he might have 100 yards rushing. They
That's
can
what I'm
win this
saying.
game and not throw the football one time. But
Yep.
I went ahead and picked up that wide receiver I never heard of. They have. I'm running. I've been making a killing on streaming wide receivers versus this defense this year, buddy.
That's crazy.
So
Well,
it's what we thought would happen, but I didn't think it would be. I didn't think it'd be this damn. I mean, they're getting like 62% of third downs completed on
yeah.
that, dude. 62%.
I know it was 54 last week.
Either way, 54, 60. If you're getting
Bryce Young, that's all I got to say. And Rico Dowdle. I don't care what Rico Dowdle did against the Dolphins. Bryce
no,
Young and Rico Dowdle, that's all I have to hear. That's all I have to hear, dog. Them two, and the fact that he came and said, buckle up, y'all ain't ready for this, and he still ran it down y'all's throats.
got mush, man. Got mush. I don't.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like that, Rico Dowdle. That's crazy.
I don't want to say anything because the guy's 40 years old and he never was that good to start with. And we picked him up like 2 weeks ago. But, Clowney, he looks like he's 225 pounds and he's
He
just
looked old
getting.
as hell when he was running down the field track. I said, man, he's done.
He's just getting mushed. Everybody got absolutely mushed. And
But
then
you know what he said? You know what he said? Jerry spoiled y'all, so I'm gonna get some too. That's what he said. He called y'all out. He called the whole organization when he got signed here. He said, Jerry spoils y'all, and I'm gonna get mine too. That's what he said. That's what he said. If that doesn't tell you anything, and everybody just shoo that comment off, shoot, don't bring that comment up. That's what that man said. He said Jerry spoils y'all. He looked around and said, Jerry spoils y'all. I'm gonna get some too.
That's more half commit because we talked about the defensive side of the ball. They held off on everything because they were quote unquote gonna pay Parsons. Let everybody go. Dowdle went. They didn't even offer him. I mean, what'd he get? Was it what it like
2.6 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 3 million a year or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what you gave your punter. You couldn't have gave Dowdle that money to have a known quantity. No, we're gonna go get
Williams
Miles
done,
Sanders and this other Williams guy. This
yeah, but
Williams
Williams,
guy that's had his knee destroyed
yeah,
17 times.
yeah, but Williams has been good, so you can't say nothing about that. I can't hate on that one. He was good before. He was
Hey,
better than Dottle.
broke clock, broke clock. It would be nice to have Dowdle and him, which you easily could have had. That's my point.
Ty filled me with that interview. He said he watched the interview 100 times. That's what people don't talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the interview. That interview is not leaving out of my head. When that motherfucker came in and getting signed, he looked old right now. He came in and said, Jerry spoils y'all. Like, it's spoiled in here. That's why y'all don't win. Basically, that's what he was hearing me. What I heard from his voice was, that's why y'all don't win shit. Look, y'all up
No,
here spoiled. It's comfortable. Y'all spoiled
nobody,
up in here. But I'm going to get mine too. His mentality was like, I'm going to get mine spoiled too. Y'all need me, and I'm going to get my money from this.
yeah,
Wow. Yep. That's
nobody.
what it
Hey, to quote, the famous one-footed linebacker, the owner ain't tripping.
is. Exactly. He ain't tripping.
You
I
know,
ain't tripping.
the owner ain't tripping. Hey, if my boss, hey, if I could show up to work tomorrow an hour and a half late, leave an hour early, take a 2-hour lunch break, not do my paperwork, and nobody cares, guess what I'm doing? I ain't working my ass off and nobody cares. If I'm still gonna get the same money, nobody ain't get wrote up. The HR ain't calling me. I ain't getting no sit down. I just go to work late. I show up, fucking hell, I might crack a beer around noon. I don't know. I'm just vibing. I'm just gonna vibe my way through the day. Get my check, come back home, wake up late, leave early. Hell, owner ain't tripping. It's cool.
Exactly.
It's human nature. It's human nature. When you're not scared that you don't have to come home and tell your wife and kids, baby, I got I got fired. Uh, we get we I don't know. We got ah. You ain't none of that. There ain't no there, nobody's scared.
Nobody's
Everybody
scared,
eating good.
man. Nobody's scared.
Everybody,
It's
nobody's
comfortable.
scared.
It's
Yeah, it's
comfortable.
chill.
It's comfortable.
I'm
I
gonna go
think
to work.
everyone.
I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna see Jerry in the hallway. He's gonna slap my ass. I'm gonna get the whistle at Charlotte. Hey, whatever. Chilling. Cool. Seems like a cuss job, honestly. I
That's why
mean,
Will McClay ain't leaving.
I'd love, there's two
If I'm
types of
Will
people in
McClay,
the game.
that's what I'm saying. But think about this though, too, Mike. All them years, Will McClay's contract, man. Will McClay ain't going motherfucking nowhere.
Hell no. Hell no.
Excuse my language, but bruh, why would I leave a job where I'm making this much money, can do what I want like you want? I don't need a title. I can chill and do what I want.
No
Because if I
media
leave my job
obligations.
and go to
He's
your
got to do,
job
yeah.
in 2 years, if I don't do what I did, and they ain't gonna be caring what that you did in Dallas. In 2 years, you're gonna be fired. He ain't leaving that.
Nick,
He ain't leaving that comfortability.
Howie Roseman's ring, it's still got the polish on it from when it left the jeweler. They're 6 games away from him getting fired. They go on a bad 6 game run. That owner, Lurie, will fire everybody. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen time and time again. We've seen it happen in Tampa. We've seen it happen in LA. We've seen it Buffalo, New York. We've seen it. If you don't produce, you are fired. Gone.
Fired. Gone.
Gone.
And he don't got to
Gone.
worry about that. You know why? Because it's comfortable.
Yeah. And he knows that he sees these guys. He
Yeah.
sees Catboy show up at 10:30, leave at 2:30, go get drunk, show back up at 4:30, drunk as shit, park sideways, come in, pass out in his office for a little bit, go get more drunk. He sees Jerry flying on the helicopter, taking his horse to the crescent. He sees all this. He, I, what would you do? Man, they keep giving me raises. I ain't got to talk to the media. All I
Yep.
get to do is scout. All I got to do is scout players and tell them who they want, and then they go pick the guys. I'm sure draft day stings when all the scouts put in all this work and stuff, and you get a coach in there saying, "Oh, I like that Tristan Hill," and you can't do a damn thing about it. But that's part of the gig. That's why you're making probably that's why his salary is not disclosed. But if you go look at his net worth and you hear whispers around the league, it's pretty much like everybody's 10 to 15 is what he's making a year.
I believe it. I know he's making at least 10.
So, you know, what's he gonna do? Go somewhere, go take a job with the Jets?
Mm-hmm. Where you be
Or
fired in 2 years?
because they, the owner wants to try something different, and you may have been doing a good job. You can go somewhere else and be doing a good job and still get fired.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nobody
that's
cares what you did the year before.
no. Or the quarterback don't like you anymore. They had Roman up in Baltimore, built that 12 set for Lamar. Lamar was thriving. Then they get to the playoffs. Lamar throws 4 picks. They fire Roman. Well, I built you the offense that you
Yeah,
wanted. I
yeah,
gave you what
Mel.
you wanted.
Mel. I guarantee you. I'm not gonna guarantee but I'm gonna definitely tell you, Will McClay's making 10 million a year. Yes, he is.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh
he
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
Every
is.
bit of it. He was making like 7.5 like
Right.
5 years
He's
ago.
making 10 million a year, if not more. They're not going to talk about that number though. They're not going to tell us that number. But you can best believe he's making that. Yes, he is. Because he's doing all the
So,
work and it's comfortable.
all right, life just got home, player.
All right,
Hell, we
man.
ran close to an hour. We ran a little longer than I thought we was going to be.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So hey, depending on what I got going this afternoon, what you got going, I may hit you up. We may run one back. I don't know.
That's
I
cool.
pretty much. I'm just cleaning the house up. I don't have any jobs today, so I'm just cleaning. I got to do my truck, but that don't take me 10 minutes because I keep it clean. But I got to cook some wings, and I'll just be hanging out. So if you get a
Hit me
wild
back.
hair, hit me.
You let
Yeah.
me know.
So
You let me know.
all right, cool.
All right, dog.
Yeah, we may be back. Let me see. Let me see what else I got going today. But which is nothing. I may end up depending on how much of nothing I want to do. If that nothing involves actually not even doing this because I'm so lazy. So we'll see about that. But I can't see the viewers. I'm on my phone and stuff. I don't feel like getting the laptop out and everything. But appreciate everybody stopping by, and
Hey,
we'll
man.
definitely get one back next week and maybe one this afternoon. Let's
Yes,
see what
sir.
happens in a few hours.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Peace.
All right, man. And yes, he is, Mel. Yes, he is. He's paying them that money. I'm trying to tell you, dog. I don't know why you don't believe what I'm telling you. I wouldn't lie to you, dog. He might be cheap, but that motherfucker's doing all the leg work and he's the good old boy. Yes, he is making that money. But we'll see what happens later on. Burgers and Blitzes, I'm out. Let's see what happens in this game. Cowboys Commanders. I had the Cowboys 5-3 and 1 before the bye. You feel me? But they've already messed it up by losing to the Panthers. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. We'll check back with me on that, big dog. Check back on me. But I'm out. Burgers and Blitzes, Big Game James. I'm out. Peace.